again. I'm excited to have you on this concluding part of family financial structure, a most insightful, educative and expository session on family finance. Why this much emphasis about finance? In fact, studies and research have shown that finance is a major cause of tension, pressure in families. And if families can have a financial structure that they can operate, it will enable couples focus on shared goals, shared vision, and achieve more, because that energy will be channeled towards something else rather than dealing with financial pressure every now and then. I was having a session some time ago and a man raised a question and he said his major challenge at home is with his wife because he doesn't know what the wife earns, and there have been issues about should couples have a joint account or not. And my response has always been not about joint accounts, not about knowing what or not, but about having a financial structure. Healthy families are not sustained by intentions, by what you want to know or what you don't know. They are sustained by good financial structures. If you have joint accounts without joint workable financial structure, you will still have problems. Part of what has worked, I know has worked, is having shared vision, shared goals, and good financial structure. In the previous episode, we started the financial structure that every family needs, and I believe you have taken the lessons and already running with them. Today, we are delving further into these insights. The advantage of savings cannot be overemphasized. Then, what are the rules for saving? The first rule that you must apply when it comes to your savings account is to restrict access as much as possible. Your control when it comes to your savings account, or the portion that you are setting aside for savings, should be very tight. It is not where you easily fall back on when you feel that you are running out of food in the house and the next thing you think about is your savings account. No, that is financial indiscipline. Then another thing about your savings account is don't leave money idle for too long. Once you have gotten to a certain level in your savings account, begin to think of investment options. In fact, the major goal or the end of having those savings is to be able to put them into investment opportunities. At every level, there is something that you should or your family should be investing in. It could be mutual funds, it could be bonds, it could be shares, treasury bills, business, or real estate. Like I said, and I will emphasize again, salary does not produce wealth. It is your investment or how you multiply your savings that actually bring about wealth. But while thinking about investments, please avoid Ponzi schemes. Avoid Ponzi schemes. They are not sustainable investments. What is the next structure that you need to put in place in your finances? You must have a project account. Are you planning to build a house? You're planning to further your education? Children's fees, those should be taken care of from your project account. So from your major account or from your pool account, certain portion must go to your project account. So when you want to embark on those projects, you don't have to do them under pressure because you have taken care of such expenses, you have taken care of such plans through your project account. And the rule for this project account should also be close to the savings account. It is not where you run to every time. This is very important because if you don't tighten your assets, if you are not disciplined enough, you see, you may end up consuming your future with your daily needs. Your project account should not compete with your domestic spendings, should not compete with groceries or anything. What other structure do you have to put in place? You should have a giving account. That may sound surprising. Yes, it's the truth. Even generosity needs structure. You must set aside the portion that you want to put into family support, giving to friends, acts of kindness, and whatever form of support, it should run on a budget. Listen to this. Only a planned giver remains a joyful giver. Now I want to make this important clarification. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying as a family you should have 5 different accounts. In fact, it is even easier now because most banks, they allow sub accounts, or you can have some savings wallet. The principle is not about the number of accounts. The principle is about separation, because separation creates discipline and discipline creates financial progress. Having said all this, there are habits that makes this system work. You must learn to protect your future from the pressure of today's habits. You must change your mindset from consuming everything to at least thinking about tomorrow. I always tell people, if everything around you always comes to you as an emergency, if every time for everything you do, you run around for fun as if it's an emergency, you have a very big problem. Develop a habit that sees beyond what you are doing today, irrespective of how much you earn. I remember as a young couple then, our total income put together wasn't even up to 100,000, but even far back then we already have a structure. Our rent per annum was around 60,000 naira because we could afford that without stress. And I remember my hubby would always say something that whoever comes to the house and feels is not comfortable shouldn't come. When I have a comfortable apartment that suits him or her, they can come. And at that time, we were focused on personal development, our dreams and our goals. We were both in school, we were both advancing our career. So we had a structure that could support what we were doing with ease. All of what I'm sharing today were what we already had in place, including giving. The portion that goes to our parents at the end of each month was decided. Everything was running on budget. So we are not where we are today by chance. Like I said, you may earn money by chance, but you don't grow wealth or you don't grow financial prosperity by chance. It comes with intentionality. And what other habits do you have to imbibe? You must review your structure periodically, because as you advance, your structure should also advance. If initially what you have as savings is 10%, you could increase to maybe 20% or 30% depending on what the situation is at that time. As I begin to wrap up on today's episode, I want to take you to Luke chapter 12 verse 42. Jesus says, "Who is that faithful and wise steward?" He didn't just say faithful, he said wise. There is the place for being faithful and there is the place for wisdom. Many families pray for financial breakthrough and they think that they are faithful, but the place of wisdom is usually downplayed. I heard it clearly from my father in faith, Bishop David Oyedepo, that God gave us brains so we can give him rest. And wisdom is the right application of knowledge. God expects us not only to receive resources, but to be able to use them wisely. That is why in that portion, he didn't just say faithful, he said a faithful and wise steward. Stewardship rewards, but it has to be with faithfulness and wisdom. Remember this, money grows best where there is structure, discipline, and intentionality. Also note, as we wrap up today, financial transformation begins when every naira has a purpose, every family has a plan, and every decision serves a bigger vision. This has been Impact series on Insight with Stella, Iwis, every week on this space. If you have not, what are you waiting for? Click on that subscription button, subscribe to this channel for mind shift sessions on this space every week. Next week, I will be sharing on some practical tips that you can also use to ensure that you cut down on costs and at the same time maintain a healthy family life. Till I see you again, remain intentional.